All right, guys, Wes here. Welcome back to the channel. And if you've been a fan of the Assassin's Creed franchise for a while, AC Mirage is the game you've been looking forward to for a long time. Thanks to Ubisoft for partnering with me on today's video, I was given the opportunity to play and beat the game early and talk to you guys about my experience. Assassin's Creed Mirage is a tribute to the original game that started it all. In AC Mirage, you play as Basim and you go on an epic adventure set in an immersive and reactive city of 9th century Baghdad. You could become the ultimate assassin through seamless parkour and a ton of interesting and fun tools at your disposal. Assassin's Creed Mirage is available right now, so whether or not you're a fan of the series or if you're looking to play and experience an intriguing coming-of-age story, click my link in the description and purchase the game for yourself. We've got a lot to go over, so check the video chapters to optimize your viewing experience, and without further delay, let's get into it. So if you've never played AC Valhalla, let's get you caught up to speed before I talk to you guys about my experience with Mirage. AC Valhalla tells the story of Sigurd and Eivor, who are two Viking warriors that left Norway for England in search of a place to settle down for their clan. Basim then meets Sigurd around 870 BCE while he was operating the Hidden Ones in Constantinople. He eventually decided to follow them along with his young apprentice Hytham. Sigurd and Basim travel across new kingdoms and investigate mysteries from an ancient and long gone civilization. Basim uncovers the truth that he suspected about Sigurd and Eivor. Sigurd, who also happens to be a reincarnation of Tyr, and Eivor of Odin. So throughout AC Valhalla, the narrative reveals the identity of Basim, who is also the reincarnation of an ancient god. AC Mirage is a narrative-driven experience where the gameplay and progression evolve as you play through the story. While there is a bit of choice in how you complete some story components, overall it is a linear experience. If you've played the most recent Assassin's Creed games, they featured a semi-linear story, but your progression locked by level. With the removal of that aspect, the pacing is much more enjoyable than the grind factor of the previous RPG games in the series. But with AC Mirage being about a 20-hour game, I fully expected that to be the case. The cinematics in between the story beats of Mirage were also a nice touch. It really makes for an engaging experience. The flow and just overall pacing of the game are a mix between classic AC formula and modern day linear storytelling, but I mean really the best way to describe it is it's similar to Ghost of Tsushima but not as story heavy. Overall, I thought the story was pretty good. There were some instances where the pacing seemed a bit rushed, which occasionally did take away from some of the immersion, but like I said before, the pacing has improved significantly from prior games in the series, making for a much more fluid experience. As the story concluded for AC Mirage, I was hoping for a bit more. Now this could be a testament to the engagement of AC Mirage because I was engaged, but it could also have the adverse effect. But I think this is a case-by-case basis and really depends on who's playing the game. Nonetheless, the story of Mirage does bode well for the future of the franchise, especially if you're a fan of the classic games. The cast of Assassin's Creed Mirage is memorable enough, the voice acting is on point, they bring every character to life seamlessly, and I would totally go back to these characters. As I mentioned before, the gameplay is very much the classic Assassin's Creed vibe. Longtime fans of the series will appreciate it because it is some premium tier nostalgia, especially because it has that blue filter option that you could do in the settings that makes it look like OG Assassin's Creed games. It's a great feature. I recommend trying it out. I'm not sure if this gameplay format will be enough for newcomers to be hooked to the format for future games, but only time will tell. Despite the solid storytelling, the game was a tad short, but the pricing model accommodates for this shorter story, which interestingly enough, this game was actually going to be an expansion for Valhalla, but they decided to turn up the development a little bit more and release it as a standalone experience, which honestly, I'm glad that it's a standalone experience that is priced accordingly and not $70 because they can and know people will buy it. So props to Ubisoft for making the right decision. Moving on to the gameplay, Assassin's Creed Mirage is a return to form experience with the classic assassination and stealth-based gameplay that is perfectly complemented with addicting parkour. I was hoping for a bit more depth in the assassinations, but it's a solid start that I think they could build on for the future. The finishers kind of just feel like they're the same thing after a bit, so hopefully the next game adds a bit more variety. The stealth tools in this game were by far my favorite aspect. Mirage has 6 tools that are available in the game, which are easily accessible from the tool wheel. You could unlock and upgrade your tools from tier 1 to tier 3 at the Assassin's Bureau. You could also change their behavior to better suit your playstyle. Now, I will say the combat in AC Mirage is quite the challenge, so if you're going brute force, expect that to be a challenge. Like I said, especially when you're trying to take on multiple enemies at the same time. There's also a heavy focus on parrying and dodging rather than the hack and slash loop. If you want to play this game and you don't really want to have to try hard against some enemies, stealth is the easiest part because you can assassinate pretty easily. But if you want to go brute force, you can upgrade your gear to make the combat a bit easier. Now, there are also opportunities to unlock armor, outfits, and weapons while you explore the city and complete the main story. You can visit the blacksmiths in town to level up your stats, and perks for your hidden blade, sword, and dagger. Basim has a special eagle vision, so like in the other games, it allows you to highlight things when you roam the map. You could send out your eagle companion to scout the area and identify opportunities from above. Just be sure to watch out for archers because they will take down your eagle if you don't kill them. Now, I was hoping for a bit more depth with the gameplay. I definitely want the next game to expand expand upon the gameplay and combat, specifically the finishers. Like I said, the gameplay progression is not built on the XP loop. It's a linear story-driven game. Power can be obtained by getting new assassins ranks, and those ranks will lead to Basim becoming an assassin, which is reached by completing the arcs of the main story. Skill points are gained by doing activities and the main story, and the skill tree is expansive but not super in-depth. Everything is just really streamlined, and it all just kind of makes sense. Moving on, let's talk about the world of AC Mirage. Now, it takes place in 9th century Baghdad and is one of the most populated and largest cities in the Middle Ages. Baghdad is a reactive city. There's a pickpocketing minigame that's super fun. While you're walking throughout the city, you can make the most of Basim's thievery and collect items like keys, quest items, and crafting materials. Now, if you're spotted committing illegal acts like killing, stealing, or pickpocketing, the world will respond with NPCs calling for guards or enemies chasing after Basim. The notoriety bar has 3 levels. The first one, civilians might recognize Basim and call the guards on you. After that, wanted posters will start to appear. The second threshold, the guards will have better perception on you and are more likely to spot you. The archers will start patrolling the rooftops, making parkour traversal a lot harder. Civilians are a lot more likely to report you, and even more wanted posters will appear, which can attract passers. Now, with notoriety level 3, the elite guard is unleashed and will start to track you. Guards are much more likely to detect you, and the civilians gather around posters, and there's a high chance for them to recognize you and call the guards. You could also use favor tokens to reduce your notoriety level, and you could obtain info, trigger opportunities with favor during quests. For instance, paying a musician to distract a guard, paying a merchant patrol to move within their group without being seen, and paying a group of mercenaries to attack nearby guards. The higher level the bar is, the more that I find myself really focusing on the stealth due to how harsh the notoriety is. If you get to the 3rd level, it can be super difficult. Now, another value add of Mirage's open world is the side activities. For starters, we have the world contracts. These contracts are small quests with optional objectives. They're requested by factions in Baghdad and will reward you with favor tokens. Moving on, we have lost books. You can find and collect 6 lost books of Baghdad, which will require you to solve puzzles. Bringing back one of the books in the House of Wisdom will reward you with favor tokens. Now, similar to world events in other AC games, there's a thing called Tales of Baghdad, where Basim will witness in the city special situations where his help is welcome. These tales are short, and completing the quests will touch on iconic cultural topics of this era. Moving on to the history of Baghdad, this is a feature designed as a throwback to the original codex from the first Assassin's Creed games, where you explore 66 locations spread out in the game world to learn more about the people, landmarks, cultural habits, and historical events essential to Baghdad's history. Unlock a special outfit for Basim once completed, and finally we have the mysterious shards, which are also spread out in the world of Baghdad and will unlock a special set of gear. Next up, let's talk about the performance. Now, this game visually looks solid and is optimized quite well. I didn't come across any glitches or visual issues throughout my time. Like I said, this game is a fully complete experience, which is to be expected, especially since it's a standalone experience rather than an expansion of Valhalla. Now, AC Mirage features TAA, DLSS, AMD FSR, and XESS, and the frame rate was great in my playthrough. For my review, I played on the PC on controller. It has DualSense support built in, so if you play on PC with a PS5 controller, it works easily. AC Mirage also has a performance mode on console, so if you want to play this game on 60 FPS, you can do so. Lastly, my favorite feature in modern gaming is photo mode, which I'm happy to report AC Mirage has at launch. But what's unique about this game is there's actually an icon for where you took your photo in photo mode, and you can even see other photos that your friends have taken, so props to Ubisoft for making that happen. Now, overall, my experience on AC Mirage was pretty positive. After completing the game, I'm really excited to see what direction they take things with AC Red and Hex. If you're looking for a cinematic story with a strong focus on being an assassin, I recommend picking up AC Mirage. If you're interested in buying the game, definitely use my link in the description and pick the game up on a platform that you own. A big thank you to Ubisoft for partnering up with me on today's video, and I look forward to hearing about your thoughts on this game once you get your hands on it. But yeah, guys, that's gonna wrap it up with this video. If you enjoyed my coverage of AC Mirage, do me a favor and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel with your notifications turned on, and don't forget to tune into my Twitch stream where I'll be playing AC Mirage from the start again, where I'll be doing some free roam gameplay and answer any questions you guys have about the game. Thanks again for watching. This has been Wes, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.